Now that it's starting to get cold outside, we're going to start seeing snow falling. It might even happen tomorrow. And this reminds me of a time in elementary school when our teachers would talk to us about how each snowflake is unique and no two are alike. This is also true for many things in the universe. Say, a zebra's stripes, they're all different. The print on a giraffe is all different, and it even applies to us as humans. Now, this is also true for humans in regards to our personality, our physical appearance, and many other things. But today, I'm going to talk about the genetic side of it. And most people don't know a lot about genetics and how it affects them. But from what I've learned, knowing about genetics is really important to understanding what makes us us. So that is why today I'm going to talk about the structure of genetics, genetic mutations, along with illnesses and diseases that are caused by them, and the profession that works with these illnesses and the families that deal with them. So, in order to understand how genetics apply to our lives, we need to understand what they are. That means starting with the molecule that is in all living things, DNA. Now, DNA is composed of two strands of nitrogen bases, represented by the letters A, T, C, and G, that are positioned on a sugar phosphate backbone. And now, each sequence of these bases is unique to every strand of DNA. And to form the complete DNA strand, these bases need to match up, and each one has a specific pair. The A pairs with the T, and the C pairs with the G. So these DNA strands all come together to form a gene. And genes do different things. So one gene could be the instructions for how tall you are, another one could be for your eye color, for your hair color, all of these different things. And that's the key to what makes us all different, is the different sequences of DNA. So before we're born, we start out with equal parts of DNA from our mom and our dad. And that creates a unique sequence for ourselves. And in the womb, our bodies need to grow, so that's why existing DNA needs to replicate. And this is a normal process, but sometimes it comes along with obstacles called genetic mutations. Genetic mutations are essentially copying errors in the DNA replication process, as stated by the University of Utah's Genetic Science Learning Center. That means that when DNA is replicated or copied, there's a problem with making an exact copy. Some of these issues are when bases are substituted, when an extra base is added, or when bases are deleted. Now, the body is trained to find these issues and fix them, but sometimes this doesn't happen. And when this doesn't happen, then it can affect the related gene, causing a mutation in your physical appearance. And it could also cause issues by creating illnesses and other things like that. And if it affects your reproductive genes, which affects your parents, when they make a child, then that means that this gene could be passed down to their children, which could develop those illnesses. Some of those illnesses include Down syndrome, cystic fibrosis, sickle cell anemia, and even cancer. Now, not everyone is well versed on what these diseases are, how we get them, and so that's why there needs to be a job for someone to explain what these things are to these people that don't know, and that job is genetic counseling. Now, the National Society of Genetic Counselors describes the profession as people who have advanced training in medical genetics and counseling to help interpret genetic test results and guide and support patients when they're seeking more information about things like how the diseases might affect them or their families, what tests may or may not be right for them, and how to make the most informed decisions in their healthcare options. Now, this is a great option for almost all families because in an interview with Megan Farmer, a certified genetic counselor from the University of Alabama, she states that genetic counseling sessions and most tests are covered by insurance. And so I'm actually wanting to become a genetic counselor in the future, and I'm so interested in it because it helps educate people on different genetic illnesses and help them understand the terms and processes more, kind of like what I'm doing right now. So now, one scenario where you might want to get genetic testing is, say you have a child and they're developed cystic fibrosis, which is an illness that deals with breathing and digestion. And you have no clue what the doctors are telling you. They're saying all this terminology you don't understand. And so then this would be a great time for you to talk to a genetic counselor. They can help you understand genetic testing you've had done. And they can give you tips on where to go from there. And they can also help you figure out what you should do in the future. Most counseling sessions will look like this. So, now that I've shared a little bit of information about the structure of genes, mutated genes, and the diseases and illnesses they can cause, and the genetic counseling profession, I hope you all have a better idea of what's behind your appearance, and that way you can go and tell your parents thank you for giving you great genes. Thank you.